Welcome to the KIMI KATO show. This is the show where each week we invite you to join us for a captivating exploration of Japanese pop culture. Come along with us as we dive into the colorful realms of Japan's music, anime, fashion, film, drinks, and food. Hey, Kimmy. Good to
Hello.
see you, my friend. Where are you at right now? You're not in Los Angeles this week.
I am not in LA this week. I am currently in Japan at my house in Karuizawa. So Karuizawa, is quite famous. It's a quite well-known town, away about an hour away from Tokyo on a bullet train. It's in a prefecture called Nagano, and it's renowned for its scenic landscape, including lush forests, mountains, and beautiful seasonal changes. So there's a lot of things you can do around here, like hiking, golf, cycling, skiing in the winter. The nearby Mount Asama, it's an active volcano, so that's a notable landmark, and hence there's lots of hot springs called onsen, and it's well known for that too. And
Wait a minute.
It's also known for John Lennon. He used to frequently visit Karuizo in the 70s. So that's where I am right now.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Kimmy, wait a minute. You said you were going there for work.
Oh, yes. I am here
It
for work.
sounds like you're in hot spring, skiing,
That
hiking,
too.
biking.
Well, no skiing at the moment. It's in the summer, so no skiing
Okay.
at the moment. But yes, hot springs, food, yes, that too, but work too. I'll be back. I'll be going to Tokyo next week.
Okay.
A short break, actually.
I actually like to hear that you're relaxing. I hope you're relaxing a little bit. You deserve it. You're one of the hardest working men I know.
Not at all. No, not as hard as you, Jeremiah.
I'm just trying to keep up with you, Kimmy. Keeping up with the Kimmy Kato. Well, what are we talking about today? I know you have a fascinating guest. I don't want to give it away. Why don't you tell us?
Yes, we do. So for our guest today, we have someone with multiple talents both on and off the screens. Someone I have known for many years, as she used to be on a Japanese, well, she used to be a radio host for a Japanese radio called J-Wave and Inter FM, and that's when I started working for the music industry in Tokyo, Japan. So today, on our episode of the Kimi Kato Show, we are thrilled to introduce LISLE WILKERSON.
Woo!
Yay!
Woo! I'm gonna do the head clap.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. I am not in Karuizawa, unfortunately, but
You are in LA, right?
I'm in LA. Yes.
You guys switch spots.
We switched spots. Speaking of John Lennon, which I must say, my friend used to be babysat by John Lennon because every summer she would go to Karuizawa because they had a vessel, they had like a house there. Yeah, it's so crazy.
Wow, that is crazy.
I don't know if I'd drop off my kid with John Lennon.
This is a very good point. Yeah,
like a good babysitter. I mean, it'd be an interesting story, but I don't know if I would trust.
Yeah. Well, I think it was just the swings. I think it was just, swing set kind of thing. So it wasn't too bad, but I mean, yeah, you'd still get injured probably. So you're right.
Did your friend ever go into music?
She did not. She went into copywriting and stuff like that, but
creative.
I would go visit her all the time, though, when I was growing up. I love it. It's such a beautiful place. I'm so jealous, Kim. Oh.
I'm only here for a week. But I'll be back in LA July 1st. So I'd love to see you again.
Out there? Oh. Is this like a holiday or for you?
Yeah, I try to go back every summer or once a year to Tokyo so that I catch up with my work and my family and etc. So that I'm still connected to Japan, even though I am also the TKC as LISLE mentions. Yes,
LISLE. I was reading up online. I was being a private investigator about you with you. Did you come back in 2008? Is that true?
I did. Yes. I came back in 2008, towards the end of 2008. Yes. Yeah, it's been, but people ask me, oh, when did you come back? I'm like, I mean, I was born here in the US, but I never really lived here. So it didn't feel like coming back to me. It felt like going to me, like going to America for the first
Was it
time,
a
kind of
culture
like that.
shock at first?
Oh my gosh, for like so many years, it was complete culture shock after culture shock. Every time I see the Eddie Murphy movie Coming to America, I'm like, that was my experience, believe it or not. I mean, very different, but I mean, just everything from, yeah, like, oh, I don't know, even like Starbucks. Like, I didn't know how to do anything here. And people would look at me like, you're so weird. I'm like, I am doing something different from everyone. What's going on? I call those my zone moments, right? Where, yeah, I'm just not aware until people look at me like, you're really weird. You don't know who you are. Are you an alien? I'm like, maybe I am. Yeah.
That's interesting because I always think of Tokyo and Japan as more advanced, with like a Starbucks or with advanced, I don't know, technology. It would seem that
Yeah.
we're behind a little bit on that, maybe not, but or they're just different things that you're not used to.
Yeah. Well, and I think also like the card culture, like I'm sure Kimmy knows about this too, but like really until actually probably about 10 years ago, you couldn't really use your credit card for Starbucks orders unless it was like a really big order. Like if it was an office, then you can do that. But if it wasn't, then they would always say, ah, カードごめんなさい、ダメです。現金でお願いします. They'd be like, no, bring out that cash, ladies. So, I mean, yeah. And then even like in a lot of stores and restaurants still, it's still very much of a caste society. And a lot of people don't know that, but yeah.
Well, before we begin, as we continue
Yes,
our
sorry.
show,
Yes.
I would love to have the honor to introduce you to the audience, your biography and how you ended up on our show. But how you just mentioned that you were born in the US but grew up in Japan your entire life until
Yes.
maybe a decade ago. But so please sit back and enjoy while I talk about you. So LISLE, you're welcome. LISLE grew up in Tokyo, Japan, born in America, but is fluent in Japanese. With over 25 years in the entertainment industry, she is best known as the voice behind powerhouse female fighters in popular video games like TEKKEN. She's Nina Williams, Christie Monteiro, and Virtua Fighter. She is Sarah Bryant. Her voice can also be heard in Shenmue, an adventure game created by Sega, Crazy Taxi, UltraMan, and even as Hello Kitty's best friend, Badtz Maru. As a media correspondent, LISLE has covered many Hollywood's biggest events, including the prestigious Grammy Awards, the Academy Awards, and the Golden Globes and the Emmy Awards. She has also reported for several Japanese TV and radio shows, including the popular NHK show Tokyo Eye. LISLE made her big screen acting debut in the Academy Award-winning film Lost in Translation, alongside Bill Murray and Scarlett Johannson, and played a significant role in the Indie Award-winning film Kamataki. Kamataki is a Canadian-Japanese drama film directed by Claude Gagnon. Released in 2005, the film explores themes of grief, healing, and cultural exchange. She has received several awards for her Japanese voice acting in the Canadian short film Team T-Nets. In addition to her voice acting and reporting, LISLE is a bilingual event MC and interpreter. She handled the world premiere screening event for Shinkai Makoto or Makoto Shinkai's Your Name, Kimi no Na wa. Your Name is a beautifully crafted anime film that combines fantasy, romance, and drama to tell a unique, moving story about love, connection, and threads of fate that bind people together. Its universal theme and stunning visual has made it a beloved film worldwide. I recommend you seeing it, Jeremiah, if you have not yet. LISLE
On the
has
list.
Yes, please.
Just one on the list.
LISLE has also worked with iconic Japanese guests such as Love Live Aquos, Evangelion's Yoko Takahashi, Masako Nozawa, voice of Goku, Dragon Ball Z, or Toshio Furukawa, voice of Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z, Junko Takahashi, voice of Naruto, and many others. Amazing. She also provides interpreting and cultural consulting for many US companies, Japanese and US companies, including SpaceX, Sony at South by Southwest, Adobe, and Women's Golf US Open, and even America's Got Talent. LISLE's latest passion is her new podcast, Adventures of a Blonde Geisha, where she shares her experience growing up and working in Japan, along with guest interviews discussing topics from being a third culture kid to voice acting and working in the entertainment industry. So please join me again in welcoming LISLE Wilkerson to the KIMI KATO Show. Da, da, da.
Drum roll, please.
Yeah, there you go.
LISLE, couldn't you just listen to Kimmy talk about you all day? That voice.
I'm like, oh, I did
accent.
do that, didn't I? Oh, yes, I know. I do love his accent. Yes.
Just what a
Yes.
narrative. What an
Yeah.
incredible life and career.
I have to say, I am also the third culture kid. I was born in Japan,
Yes.
raised in the Philippines and the UK. I came back to go to university or to study Japanese. Came back to Japan, went to university, and then started working for the Japanese bank. But I was probably had the same experience you going back to America, the opposite.
Yeah. So, Kimmy, so I have a question for you then. What country, like, where do you find, because this is a very hard question, I think, for any TCK, third culture kid, where is your comfortable spot? Like, where do you find yourself being most comfortable? This is one question I always ask on every one of my podcasts,
Right. I have to say Earth.
Yeah. So I say something quite
Well,
similar.
since when have you
actually.
been to Earth? He's out there in the stars.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah.
Because
I
now
always
Yeah,
go
go
ahead.
No, because I currently live in the US and I've been living there for 7 years now. So I'm like, I've been living in England for 10 years, 6 years in the Philippines, maybe over 25 years in Japan. So maybe now closer to Japan because I'm kind of feel like I'm an alien in the US. But I haven't been back to England for many years.
But do you feel comfortable? Like with me, even though like I've been here now for 10 years, but I still absolutely don't feel like I belong, like all the time. I'm like, crazy country, you Americans, I don't understand,
I know what it is.
Yeah.
It's, when you live in so many different places and you grew up in so many different places, you kind of feel, you always look at every society that you live in, you always look at in a third eye, like third person. I always see it as somebody not there.
So you're
You know what I
never
mean?
really comfortable anywhere you're at? Is that what you're saying by
No,
saying that?
I feel comfortable when I'm in the onsen
Or
or taking a break.
we're gonna take a break.
Yeah.
We're not gonna
Or
let you off the
basically,
hook, Kimmy. We want Kimmy to answer this question, don't we? Okay.
or even like basically, I feel like you can make yourself comfortable anywhere, but it's a very different level of comfort. Is that kind of how you feel too, Kimmy?
Yeah, I think
Maybe.
so. I think that's what it is. But how would I know? I mean, how would I know of being someone that's always brought up in that country, lived and bred in that, in that
Yeah.
society
How
entire
long
life
do you think you have to be in a country, both of you, before you can say, I get it. I get the culture. I feel at home here. I feel I'm not any different than anybody else around me. How long do you think you have to be in each one of your
Mm.
in each country that to feel that way? Is it a
What do you think,
year? Is it
Liesl?
5 years? Is it 10?
So with me, but I think Kimmy might have a different experience because you have 4 different countries that you're dealing with, whereas I only have really 2. But I think, but this is where kind of my TCK pride comes into play, where I'm very happy in not being completely comfortable. I prefer it that way. Like I like to create my own culture. I'm like, screw all y'all. I got my own LISLE land, y'all, and it's better than anything here or there or anywhere. So that's my feeling. But
I think that's the best. So we're going to talk about that furthermore, but as we are going to take a short break, please don't go away
okay.
as we continue our wonderful conversation with LISLE Wilkerson. And you are listening to the Kimi Kato Show. Don't go away.